Good morning, ladies. This morning I was reading in Hebrews chapter 12, and I wanted to share with you an object lesson that I feel like the Lord gave me the other day when my son and I were out planting the other day. It's in Hebrews 12. It says, verse 14, pursue peace with all men and the sanctification without which no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one comes short of the grace of God, that no root of bitterness springing up causes trouble, and by it many be defiled. Okay, so I'm going to walk back here to my backyard. We were out planting. We're trying to plant some ground cover as well as some trees. And I wanted to just show you really quickly. These are the trees that we're going to plant, some emerald greens. And the ground cover we chose are creeping jennies right here, which you can see them right there. Those are called creeping jennies. And then the other ground cover, I cannot remember the name of these, but they grow to about 6 to 8 feet, but no, actually 8 to 10 feet across. And so my backyard is a huge slope. And so we're pulling up roots while we're digging holes, right? And we come to this root right here, and we're thinking to ourselves, I say, okay, Caleb, just pull on it. And so Caleb is pulling on it. Never did he imagine that it was this long. So as you can see, the root won. We never won, right? So what happened here? This root, which appeared to us, it looked like a small thing to us, actually was massive. It was a massive root. Okay, I'm walking back down the hill, so bear with me so I don't fall. I fell earlier down the hill, but this root was massive, and to us it just looked like a small thing. To us it looked like a very small root, but once you begin to pull on it deeper and deeper, you begin to see just how pervasive this root had become. And that's how bitterness is. It starts off as a small offense, or may even be a bigger offense, and relative to what it becomes, it started off small. Relative to what it becomes, grows into a massive thing. And it's interesting because that root is, though it's troublesome, it's really not a big root. I've seen roots so big that they will pull up whole sidewalks. They'll get under the foundation of your house and cause all kinds of plumbing problems, and they ruin households basically. And bitterness does the same thing. Bitterness kept in our hearts does not stay there. The nature of bitterness is it has to spread, and so it will defile your family, your spouse. You'll spread that thing to your spouse. If they're not discerning and not able to stop you, they will actually take up your offense, and you can spread bitterness. And you see children become bitter just like parents are bitter, or vice versa. You see spouses become bitter towards the same people, taking up that other person's offense, and God never meant it. You see churches where bitterness comes in, and they did this, they didn't do that, and it spreads like cancer, it spreads like wildfire, and it's not what God intended. God intended for unity. He intended for love, and he knew how dangerous bitterness was, and so he tells us to deal with it quickly. Pull it up like a root that will destroy your whole family, your churches, your workplace, your community. We've seen it happen. And so we see that Paul gives we believe Paul wrote Hebrews. No one's really 100% sure, but we believe Paul wrote Hebrews. He gives a stern warning. Pull up, strengthen those hands that hang limp. Back in verses 12 and 13, strengthen those hands that hang limp. That means deal with that weakness, and then strengthen yourself before it becomes a root of bitterness. And he goes on to talk about Esau and how he just abdicated God's grace and blessing in his life because of a root of bitterness, and he actually became immoral. Bitterness can lead us to sexual immorality as well, because we feel entitled. We feel like I should be able to have this thing. So I just wanted to encourage you, ladies or gentlemen, whoever may be watching, hopefully mostly ladies will be watching. I wanted to encourage you with this, and to just encourage you to continue that we would put on Christ, put on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make no provision for our flesh. Okay? All right, guys, God bless you. Bye-bye.